Hi guys, welcome back. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my Thunder laser. I know you guys have seen me cutting it and everything, so I just want to kind of go over some stuff. Originally I had the Glowforge Pro, and that one was pretty expensive, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that, but long story short on that one, the Glowforge Pro broke after 13 months of having it, and it took me tons and tons of emails and months to get them to respond because they did not have a customer service. So I will tell you this, I've researched a lot more this time around. I found that Thunder Laser has an amazing customer service base. There's a lot of people that are in the forums and stuff and on Facebook that you can really talk to. If you need something, they call you, and it's just great. And everything on this machine is replaceable. The Glowforge Pro, absolutely not. You have to send them your machine back, and then they want to charge you for a refurbished one if it's over a year old. And when they send you a refurbished one, you're getting somebody else's broken product. They say that it meets all standards, but I will tell you, I got my second Glowforge Pro after paying them like $896 to send it to me and to send mine back, and it did not last even a month. So I sent it back to them again after going through tons and tons of emails with the Glowforge company, and it was just a nightmare. Currently I have another Glowforge Pro, which they sent it out to me and everything, and I'll show you that. This is the one that they sent me, and I will tell you, I have only used it one time long enough to turn it on and see if it actually turned on. And I cut one thing with it. That was it. So I don't know how long this one's going to last. It's been sitting in my house now for about 4 months because I've got this laser and I was working on everything in my workshop. I'm hoping that this one lasts longer, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. Glowforge customer service sucks big time. If you're gonna buy a Glowforge, yes, you're getting a cheaper product for less money, but in the long run, it's not worth it. When Thunder Laser System sells an entry-level laser that is bigger than the Glowforge, and it comes with the software and everything to use it, great customer service base, and you're going to come in about the same price, maybe a little bit lower. So the bottom line is, if you want to spend less money for the Pro version of the Glowforge than you do the Thunder 51 135, which is what I have, then obviously you're going to spend less money, but it's not going to last you very long. And with the Glowforge, you have to use their material to cut. Otherwise, it's not covered under warranty at all. And their material is very, very expensive compared to being able to buy whatever material you want and then be able to cut it. So, like this here, I'm going to show you. I've been playing around. Don't mind the bed because I've been cutting. But I've been playing around with some sanded plywood, and it's cutting out great. I'm not having any issues with it. The Glowforge would never, ever cut this. And if it did cut it, it's not going to cut it as clean as this does. This here has several different heads that you can purchase, and that's an option that you can do. They also have this really cool rotary tool, which, as you can see, I have not tried it yet, and this is an option that you can buy too. So this one allows you to do things that are round, like tumblers, and like if you're doing a rolling pin or a bat or a dowel, anything that's round you can pretty much do on there because it rolls it around and it engraves on it. The Glowforge Pro does not. This is the laser head for the Glowforge Pro. In here you have your mirror, and this goes on here like this. This will slide back and forth. As you can see, it's nice and clean because I have not used it. So you guys are getting a really nice image of the Glowforge Pro. Well, I used it once. And then in here is all of the systems of the Glowforge. You know, the hardware and stuff like that. Now, here's the tricker. all the way back in that corner, which I'm going to slide this up so you can see very slowly. All the way back in that corner is your fan that goes out the back, and it looks like there's something actually back here that shouldn't be. But anyway, it goes out the back, and then trying to replace that is you can't, because this is sealed on here, completely sealed, so you can't get it off of here unless you have specific tools. The camera for this is this little tiny camera here, and the issue with this camera being like this is, you see this little thing with the pens, it's not covered that well, so it gets very, very dirty very quickly. And then right there, and then you want to wipe off your screen and clean, you know, your glass and everything, but the lights are here and all the electronics are very much exposed to this, so that fan is pulling the exhaust out where the smoke and everything is. And what happens is when this is cutting and you shut this lid like this, there isn't that much space between the top of this and the bottom of that. So all of that is hitting that immediately before it can come out. But with this one, I ended up purchasing their Edition, which is another add-on feature that you can get from Thunder Laser as a camera. This is their camera system, and as you can see, it's right there. Theirs is inside there, and if you can see it, you can't, I'm trying to show you, you can't really see their control thing. You see it's like encased in plastic, and the cord goes all the way over here, it goes down here, and then it goes down in that hole to the control panel, which is accessed, sorry I have a very tight fit in here, by these doors down here. And then you have your power switch and everything here. So back here are the doors. It's gonna be hard for me to get to it because I'm in a small space, but the difference in the height is from here to down here, and this bed goes super, super low. So with the Glowforge, you're restricted to doing very small things. With this one, I can lower my bed to go all the way down. So if you want to see, I'll show you. You see how much it's going? And I can keep going, which allows me to do larger items. Okay, so now I'm at the bottom. As you can see, my bed height and that lens is pretty far apart, right? Then you're looking at, this is an 18-inch ruler, and it's not quite tall enough, so you probably have about another inch or two up here from the bottom of the bed to the top. So you have plenty of space between this and that camera, and tons of room for the smoke and everything to go out. Now, if I want to raise it back up, it's pretty simple. It's got this nice little digital control. I just push this button all the way up, and as you can see, it's very easy to do, which allows me to do larger things. And then I can do smaller things. Just raise my bed up. Okay, so now I want to show you something else here. I can take this and I can toggle all the way down and then come over. I'm just kind of stopping as I'm going. I wanted to make sure I was going to clear that because I didn't measure it. They give you this little tiny tool to measure the height that you have your board away from the bottom of the lens. So I'm going to move it like that, and then I'm going to raise my bed back up. That way when I go to do this again, I'm not forgetting that I showed you this on the video. All right, still a little high. And I can keep going. Now see, that time it's a little too tight, so it's not a big deal, but I can go back down. See, and then I can turn it like this, and it's clear, so you can see exactly where you are. If you're not blind like me, you can see those numbers on there, and it's all in millimeters, so you can kind of just go like that. The other thing you can do is you can test your air assist, and before I even do anything with that, I'm just going to hit reset, and it's going to send my little guy back where he goes. Nice and smooth. And to check the air, you have test and test. You can test your high volume and you can test your low volume. And if I push this, my air is going to come on, which is going to come right out of there, and you'll be able to feel it if you were close enough and you could actually feel it. This honeycomb tray is a lot larger. One thing I did find that was a little bit of a problem for me with this is that it is so large. As you can see, I can put my pinky down in here. Not completely, but just, you know, a little bit. And I'll show you on my pinky, if I can. See the size of that? The Glowforge is not that large. So with me doing miniatures and stuff most of the time, I have small stuff that will fall through the bed, and sometimes it even falls through this bed, but it is less likely to fall through this bed than it is the Thunder. However, the trick to doing that, if you are doing it on the Thunder, that I've found is if you're going to cut something that's 1/8 inch thick, which is a lot of times what I do, if I have this here and I don't want it to fall through, I'm going to measure it to cut just through the speed and everything for the 1/8 inch board. I'm going to have a scrap board underneath. That way it's only going to cut through this board, and then when I get to the bottom of this board, it doesn't fall through. So if you want to cut small things, don't let this be a problem for you, because it's not. The other thing I really like about this is it has all of these locks that are completely and totally underneath on every panel. So this is the tray. If you want to let it just fall through, you can, and then these come out, they slide out, and you can clean them. As you can see, I've had some things fall through because, like I said, I do miniature, and even if you're not doing miniature, some things that are scrap will fall through. It's just gonna happen, you know. It's the love of the hate relationship with what's gonna go through the bottom of the honeycomb. All right, so that was the access panel right here where the Thunder is that I just opened. The other thing with this here is this is a CO2 laser that is a class 2. So make sure you do your research on class 2 lasers before you purchase anything that you're unaware of. All lasers have their risks. This, as long as you keep the doors shut and the vent is well ventilated going out the back with the fan, it should be perfectly safe. I am not by any means an expert, but you know, they have classes that teach you this stuff and they tell you all about it. But the thing I like about it is they actually put the labels and all on the thing telling you about it. So on your laser, it tells you all the things to watch out for. Everything is labeled and everything is marked. You know, they're telling you here, fallen objects, if this door is open. You have a control panel that has all of this stuff. You know, you can adjust the speed, you can look for files, you can go to origin, start, pause, escape, enter. This is the one that we were going around and moving the actual laser arm with, and this is how we were going up and down. It'll show you when you're cutting, and if you look at some of my other videos that I've done with this already, you'll be able to see where I take a quick video of that. And I know it's really hard for you to see down there, but all of the doors and the whole side has 3 access doors, and there's little fans and everything down there that you can access it with too. super easy, and all the parts can be purchased, and they send it to you really quick if you have an issue. Where with the laser that's over here with the Glowforge, I don't see any warnings anywhere on the Glowforge. Now mind you, this is a laser that is smaller, and then back here you have no doors on the side, so you can't access what's in here to change it or to fix it. Same way with over here where your fan is. Oh, you know, and way back in the back they'll give you a little warning on theirs, you know, that is not really in the sight of seeing. Now this one, like I said, I don't have it hooked up right now, but there is your exhaust fan coming out, and that is how that is. The tube here is literally right in your view. Like, you can see it, you can see when it's going through, you can see the liquid going through and everything with the Glowforge. With the Thunder, you got to squeeze back here because, you know, I converted a 26-foot trailer, cargo trailer, into my workshop. See my mess? That's my mess. Alright, so here is the door. And I'm going to show you. Back here is where my laser tube is. Open it very easy. And as you can see, this tube goes all the way across. It's humongous. But if you have to replace this tube, guess what? It's very accessible. Super, super accessible. I mean, like, look, you have a strap here with a little, looks like a little hex nut on there. You've got your cushioning. There's your wires that you're going to plug in for whatever you may need it. And then there's another one there, and then there's your little wire, and it goes right down in there, which goes to an access door. Obviously, you want to make sure you keep it locked. And look, there's more warnings. They put a massive amount of warnings on here for you to make sure that you are completely aware of what you are doing. And when you talk to the sales rep, they're going to talk to you and tell you all about, like, what you want to know. If you have 1,000 questions, they'll answer all of them. You will actually get a person every single time that you contact the Thunder people. That's what I love about it. And down there, there's also more access doors. Here we have access doors as well. Try and squeeze through here again. And look, if your belt goes wrong, something's wrong with it, there's your mirrors. You can access all of it. Every last bit of it is accessible. There's more wiring that you can get to just by opening that door. And look at that. Everything is so easy to get to. And then there's your little vents. Again, more warnings to tell you safety instructions. Now, one thing I didn't tell you is this has an emergency stop. So if in the event that you don't put in the right settings or something like that, then guess what? There's an emergency stop, which will literally stop the entire laser from cutting, and everything will just shut off instantly. And back here, you have this light that tells you when you are green and ready. So like right now, my laser is ready to cut, and it is red if you're not. So if you hit that stop button, it's going to turn red. Okay, so I have the laser open right now, and I want to show you a really cool thing about this laser. It's in the program that they give you with it. It's called Light Burn. It has a little button over here, or a little like menu. You hit that, and guess what? It will open up and refresh exactly what is on your board. Now, One thing I don't like about this Lightburn program is how you have to scroll. There should be a little toggle bar down here and on the top so you can move it left to right. And maybe it is somewhere in there. If you know, just post it in the comments below. Because this is my first time using Lightburn when I bought this Thunder Laser. Before that, I've never heard of this program. I've always used Adobe Illustrator. So, you know, I'm very new to it. And Adobe has these little things that you can slide back and forth on the top and bottom. Where with this one, you kind of got to go where you want it to go. Which is kind of difficult for me because I'm not used to that. But if we were to open something and cut it, then we could cut it on here. So for instance, let's see what I have in here. I don't know if I have any files in here right now or not. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to import this file here. And I'm going to just go to page 10. One thing you have to do too, so in Illustrator I found that if you are going to do a file in Illustrator, you have to save it to PDF. And I'm sorry I'm not using a screen record program for this, but at the moment I don't have that installed on this computer. So I don't even know what this says because I can't see it that well. It's pink. But this one, we're going to set the settings, and I have my settings already ready for Engrave, which everything in here is line or fill. So for Engrave, which is what I want this here to be, and I know you can't see that because I can barely see it, but hopefully you'll get it. We're going to do 510 on the settings, okay? Then for this one right here, which is the corbel, we're going to do 4095. Now I'm going to just take both of these and I'm going to move them over here where I have somewhere to put them that I'm going to move this up closer to. And I'm going to put it in this little space here. Okay. Now I'm trying to zoom in on that. I know that's very hard for you to see, but this pink word is going to say something down here. I don't even know because it's something that's in the file that I made a long time ago. But you can go up to the top and you can open up this little window here. Oh, it says WW is what it is. It's probably the start of my website. Then you can go over to here and we're going to just do 20 times that or 10 times that, 40 times that, whatever. We'll stick with 20. And then we'll be able to see exactly how it's going to cut out. Now, because it went so fast and it's such a small one, maybe we'll go slower so you can actually see what it's doing. As you can see, that's what it's going to do. Okay, so I'm going to say OK. And down here, it's going to say it's going to take a total of 6 seconds to cut that one out and to score that. So, and that's fine. I'm going to double check my height. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to mess with this. And I'm going to bring my laser over. And I'm doing this because sometimes on a board where you're going to cut, it could be slightly warped or something and you don't want to have it to where it's going to be a mess. Okay, so I think that'll be good enough. I'm going to send it back home. Alright, so now I'm going to lower this down, and this lid's really heavy, and you don't want to drop it. I'm going to come back over to my computer, and I'm going to put on my mask because I don't like the smell. Because you know, burnt wood, no matter what kind of filtration system you have, you still smell it. And I'm going to put on my laser glasses. Then I'm going to hit start. Make sure my air assist is on, all of those. However, because it's so small, the air assist is not going to probably come on until after it's done cutting because it's only going to take 6 seconds. that fast, it cut that. Now we're back to green. It's telling us it's okay. And the air assist is on, so we're gonna let that go for a second. So that way it can suck out anything that's in there. As you can see, it engraved WW. Now I just scored it, I didn't fill it. If I wanted to fill it, then I could have. As you can see, it cut nice and clean. Now, I will tell you, when I first started messing with this board, because I'd never cut this board before, I did all of these trying to figure out the exact settings I wanted, because this, I want it to be perfect. And I don't want to sell somebody something that is going to end up cutting like this. So instead, I went ahead and I found the exact setting I liked. And they're smooth. So then there it is. It's nice and smooth with the laser cut. As you can see, it's got like even the little fine part there. I mean, it cut it like super nice. And this is just sanded plyboard. And as you can see, it's a little bit of glue here. This little spot might not cut as nice, so you might want to avoid that, because that looks like where they tried to repair the plyboard so they could sell it to you. But you cannot cut this on the Glowforge because it's not proof grade. For the Glowforge, I would probably get all these test cuts and not that much of it all the way down, because it just would not be that much. And I think their boards for just like the regular ones for wood starts out around 20 or something like that. You'd have to check because everything's changed since COVID. Maybe it might even be like 24 now. Okay, so I'm using the light burn that came with it. It's 1.2.01. And then it's got like all these really cool tools up here that are similar to Illustrator, so it was very easy to start in on it. However, there was some things in here that I like that I don't know how to do in Illustrator, that allows you to go ahead and like you can multiply like how many you want and to go from there, and then it's got a grid that little pops up and tells you what you want to do. The other thing is if you hit like this here, you can kind of make it go multiples, and that's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot. And if you hit F1 on anything and you're not sure of in this program, it'll give you like instructions of what that is and like kind of like a little help menu. But look, my laser is shut right now, so I want to show you something. The camera works when the laser is open. So if I update the overlay, now I'm going to get an image of the flat bed. And as you can see, this is all the way down here now. But if I open the thing back up, I'm going to get a full view of this one here. See how it's like that? Now watch. I'm going to update the overlay, and then there it is. There's my board. So you have the option of looking at it either way, but when you're laying your artwork out, you want to put it like this. That way you can kind of see exactly where you want it. And then if you want to take a picture, you can. You can take a picture in there, and that's pretty cool. So anyway, this was pretty much like a small little like insight of how this laser works, and a review based on the Thunder and the Glowforge. I will do several more though. Once I get the Glowforge hooked up, I'll show you kind of how the Glowforge cuts versus this and the time that it takes. But keep in mind, the Glowforge Pro is the top of their game. That is the highest and the best that you can get with the Glowforge, is the Glowforge Pro. And I don't know what the exact price is right this second on them. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and look on their website for you. Right now, currently, if you wanted to get the Glowforge Pro, it's the most popular, so they say, and it is $6,995. They have a plus and they have a basic. I will tell you from my first like impression of them, I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. I even bought their air filter. So it works, but the problem is the air filter's like $250 or something like that, I think. Let me see if they have it on. Might not show it to me because I'm not logged in. Their air filter is like 250 bucks. I can't see. This is what it looks like. Oh, nope. Let's see. Well, meet the air filter. So this is, I paid like $1,000 for it when I bought it, I believe, or $1,100. So it's $1,295 for just this little air filter box. And there's a square filter that goes inside of here, and that lasts very minimum. I mean, you can cut, I think, maybe up to 20 hours at the most with it. You have to go in and research it yourself because I don't remember the exact thing, and like I said, I'm not logged in right this second. However, with the Thunder, you don't need that, and you don't need it with the Pro either, but you have to have a good ventilation system, and then you need an inline fan to blow it out. Now, let me take you to the Thunder website. Okay, so the Glowforge Pro is a Class 4 laser. The Thunder 51 130 watt is a Class 2 laser, so do your research on that. But I will tell you, this is $69.95. You can go to Thunder's website and you can buy the Nova 24, which is a 60 watt laser with a 24-inch bed. Alright, you can go down here, choose your option, $7,400 on their website at this moment. Today's 9/11/22. They have great customer service. You can call them anytime. You can call this number right now and just ask them a million questions if you want, and they'll answer it all. They've got lots of videos. They've got help stuff on there for you. They've got tons and tons of support. That is amazing. They have options that you can buy additional things with their lasers. And the prices are very, very affordable. Now, let's go back. This is the one that's the most comparable to the Glowforge, I would say. It's smaller. It's not nearly as big. You can put it on a nice, sturdy table. The Glowforge here, I don't know if it's going to let me do anything with this. Let me see if I can go to products and see if it gives me anything that way. Alright, so here we go. Here is some information. Alright. It says on here that the Glowforge Pro allows you to cut 3 times faster if you buy the Glowforge Pro compared to the Plus. And it doesn't even give you a top speed for their basic. It is a 45 watt laser. So for those of you who don't know about the watt, the wattage on it, it means that it like has more power or more wattage. So the cut speed is 120%. Here they don't even give you a cut speed for the basic, nor do they give you a cut speed for the the Plus or the basic. They don't give it to you. They say that they give you $150 worth of premium material. I would tell you, I did get material from them, and it was kind of like a little selection that they gave you. But for the amount of material that they give you, you can't really cut much at all. And it's only $120, or I'm sorry, $150 because their prices are so high for their material. They show you here on their little commercial. If you can dream it, you can print it. For an entry-level laser, for somebody who knows absolutely nothing about them and doesn't have much design stuff or anything like that, this is very basic. And it was straight out of the box, easy to use. However, there are tons of people that have caught their Glowforges on fire because they didn't know what they were doing and used materials or design things that were thin, and that can happen with pretty much any laser if you don't know what you're doing. However, you can't replace any of this. People in the forums and stuff like that have had like amazing results with Thunder, And the Glowforge, if you go on there, join a couple groups before you buy it. Do your research. On here you have the Nova 35, which is still very, very nice. You can choose between the 80 watt and the 100 watt. We'll just say the 80 watt because we're trying to keep in comparison a little bit there, which is $9.9 for this one. You can do payments. I would recommend that you go through your bank for payments because your bank's more likely to give you a loan right now with everything going on with COVID than some stranger bank. But that's not necessarily true. I mean, you might have amazing credit and it doesn't matter. But here's the Nova 51. Now this is the one that I have. I have the 130 watt and it is $13.4 on here. I did finance mine through my bank, which was pretty amazing. I think I pay around $296 a month or something like that. I think that's what I pay because I bought all the options. So here they say $239.9 or $239.97 a month for theirs. I think I pay like around $297 or something like that total for it. But that's because I bought like every option that they had. And here you can actually see this a little better because you don't have all that stuff in the way that I have. That's the back. This is the little vent hose that comes out. And there's a fan in there as well. Then you have your side access doors and your front access doors. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, and I did not even think to mention to you. This access door here allows you to do infinity cuts, which means you can take a 4x8 sheet of plywood and keep going with it. Then you can put another 4x8 right behind it and keep going with it. You can cut until your world is like blue and pink or purple or whatever you want to call it, because you can just keep going. The Glowforge Pro also has a little cut, but you are limited to that little tiny gap. That's as thick as you can put through there. This one you can put a regular sheet of plywood or whatever you want through there, which I totally didn't even think to mention because I never use that option on the Glowforge. I probably never use it on this one because I have no idea why I would cut something that big. Alright, so there it is there, and again, this is a class 2 laser. It comes with 100 watt or 130 watt power. The working area, the bed size on here is 51 by 35. So, 51.2 by 35.4. It's huge. It can fit an entire 4x8 sheet of material through the pass-through. And that's no joke, it really can. Then you have the camera accessory you can get, and there's your little smart stop thing, your smart board. And here are the different heads. I have the high-res head, and I have the 4-inch head, or the 4-inch head, the high-res head, the Thunder Cam, and the rotary roller. So my payments when I, did it was a little bit higher. There are tons of laser files that you can buy online, and you can also use some things in like the different groups and stuff. They'll give out free stuff as well. Now, that's the one that I bought. Again, there are even bigger ones with this. You have this one, which is the 63. Then you have this one, which is the 22. This one, which is the 32. Now, these two are not the Novas. These are, I guess, Odin. And then you have the Mini. Now, getting back to the price of Thunder versus the Glowforge, you could even go with the Mini, which is very small. It's 60 watt, 40 watt for $5,600. You see that? $5,600. And it is a 60 watt, or it's a mini 60 40 watt laser. All right. The Glowforge, when we went back, where was that at? Was a 45 watt, which in this case, this one's a 40 watt, or you could go with that. 120 cut speed, $69.95 for theirs. $69.95. Your bed size with this is not very large. I can't remember the exact size, but let's measure it. Okay, so you can only go to right here because the laser's not going to go beyond that, which gives you about 12 7/8. And then if you go from the edge of this to the edge of that, you're getting about 20 1/2. And you can't cut exactly to the beds. I have found with the Glowforge that I can get about 11 by 18 to get a good cut. With this one, let's see what it says for the cut in bed. If it says it, let's see. Maybe it doesn't say it. I don't know. Let's see here. All right, what's included specs? All right. Engraving is 23 by 15 by 8 inches, which means you can get up to 8 inches in depth to go down, so you can cut something pretty thick, or you can engrave on something pretty thick. So like you could probably engrave on a hammer or something that's like a plaque or something. And this also has a pass-through. So yes, it's a tiny bit slower. It says 60-40 watt. It's called the Mini 60, so you're getting 5 watts slower than the Glowforge. But it's 5600 compared to 6995. So yeah, you can go with that one and have all the headaches that I had, or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll get lucky and yours will last for years. I don't know, maybe I just had bad luck, but I went through 2 of them and this is the 3rd one. I don't know how long it's gonna last. I really do hope it lasts a long time because I spent a lot of money on it, and I was really impressed with how it did at first before I knew any better and before I learned anything. So I'm trying to let you guys know that the comparison of the two with the customer service and the product, whenever you buy a Thunder, they make their products completely so that you can actually go through and you can replace the things. I mean, even on this little one, I mean, look, you've got doors everywhere. I mean, how can you argue with that? That's pretty great. And you can talk to people. The reviews are great, but if you go and you look up the Glowforge reviews, let's see what it says. Let's see, here is a 2.1 out of 5. There's another one. On theirs, they're saying they're giving themselves a 5-star review on that. Then you can go on and you can do your own research. So I just logged in, or not logged in, but I just went to the Better Business Bureau, and I just want to show you something. This is people talking about the Glowforge, okay? You have a 2, a 1, 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 and I can continue to load more. You can look this up yourself. This is not me doing anything or anything. So, you know, you can continuously load this and read these responses, because you know what, I didn't read them all. I just know that they're here. You know, because when I had a bunch of problems, I was like, no, this is not happening. So just, oh, look, somebody actually gave it a 5-star and a 4-star and another 5-star and a 5-star here. Oh, look, you're getting into some that have some 5 stars. So that's great. Great for them. But then you're going back into some 1 stars. So as you can see, oh, there's another 5-star for them. You've got way more 1 stars than anything. And this is on the Better Business Bureau. And you can read what they're saying. Make sure that you do your research. I'm just telling you that from experience. The Thunder Nova, let's see what they have to say with that if they're on here. Okay, so it looks like when I type in Thunder USA laser reviews, I don't get any results on here. So it doesn't look like anybody reported them. Let me see if I just type in Thunder Laser Reviews. Nothing pops up on here for that. See if we can go on the internet and see if they pop up that way. See, Thunder Laser Reviews have 5 stars here, 5 stars there, and I don't see. Nope, that's full spectrum. That's not what we want. Okay, so it doesn't look like they're gonna pop up on here. Okay, so I clicked on the one on the internet that said Facebook, and it looks like the people out of 5 people have given it a 4.7. So that's just on this page. And you can do your own research and kind of look at, you know, really good CO2 laser, good bang for your money. I mean, they're giving you lots and lots of positives here. So check them out. Let me see if I can go in here. So I just went in here, and this guy says, online, many great reviews and support as well. So behind the scenes rating, pros and cons, help me make the right choice. Thanks in advance. And then they go on. So join some groups. Definitely do your research. But overall, I would definitely say that, without rambling on a whole lot more, because I know I've already been talking forever about this, I chose the Thunder, and I chose this one particularly because I wanted to cut bigger things. I wanted to go deeper. I wanted to do more things other than doll housing. I still want to do tons of doll housing, don't get me wrong, but I want to do bigger doll houses. And I need a bigger laser to do that. And this will allow me to do just that. So overall, the customer service is why I chose this, laser. And the quality of the machine, and the fact that I can replace everything in it and I don't have to send it back. I went through several emails when I was dealing with the Glowforge here. Several of them. Lots and lots of problems with waiting for someone to get back to me, because you would email them and then it would be days in between with the Glowforge before somebody would call you back, or not even call you, sorry, they would email you back because they don't have, a customer service phone number. You literally have to wait for people to reply to your email. Then you get a different person that's replying to your email every single time, and it's days in between because they're on a different timeline or they're dealing with so many problems. I don't really know why, but they definitely do not have a phone number. At least they didn't months ago. I went through 2. This is the 3rd one. I've only used it once to turn it on and make sure it worked, and that was the end of that. I'm hoping this one lasts longer, because there are certain things that I would prefer to cut on this that are super tiny. Or maybe if something happens where I need to do something that I've got that one busy and I want to run this one too, and I can knock them both out at the same time, that would be great. But, I'm not holding my breath with this, because I feel like I've already been burnt twice by them, and, I wish I had done more research, basically. So this one with the Thunder, like I told you before, you can replace everything in it. They've got tons of access doors and stuff, so you can get to it and fix it or do whatever you need to do to make it work. And every single time you need to get a hold of them, whether it's something simple or not, they are going to be there. And you can call them and talk to them and just get on the phone with them and say, hey, I have a question, and they will answer it. It doesn't matter how big, little, or crazy or wild or simple it is. They will help you the best that they can. And you will always have somebody you can talk to. You can email them too. but you can talk to somebody. And if you don't want to do that, then you can go into the groups and you can join them. And, you know, there's a huge support thing where people are so positive and they help you and they answer any questions. Like, I was super intimidated when I first got this. And, you know, I started asking questions of like, okay, so I have this board, you know, what settings would you recommend? You know, what would be the best thing to do? How would you set yours up? And they would give you a starting point and or help you the best that they could. This you can do lots and lots of stuff that's a lot bigger. I can do like things that are thick if I wanted to. If I wanted to do slate, or if I wanted to do a bat, or if I wanted to say, for instance, I have a jewelry box and I want to engrave on the top of the jewelry box, I can lower it down. So, you know, and just engrave on it. There's just so much more I can do with this. Now, granted, I'm looking at, you know, a couple $1,000s more for this and a lot more space that this takes up than the other one. And this is a CO2 laser, which is a class 2 laser, and that is a class 4 laser. And that one can sit, the Glowforge can sit on a countertop. This obviously can't. I would not recommend that you use a thunder laser in your house, because even when you vent it, it will have a bit of a smell from the burning wood getting, you know, lasered apart. It's not horrible. I keep masks there and I use those just so that I can, you know, not have to worry about it. But I also ended up getting COVID last year, and it gave me COVID asthma, so my lungs are kind of like messed up, you know, now from that. So if it wasn't for that, I think it'd be okay. You know, it's not a horrible smell, but the Glowforge did the same thing. I had the same issue with the Glowforge, you know, and the smell in the house, and I had their Glowforge filter too. So no matter what, you're going to have a little bit of an odor, but because of kids and families and stuff like that, I just would not put this in the house, and that's why I went with what I did with the trailer. Plus, this is like 900 pounds, so if you ever want to move, you're not going to be able to find somebody to move it very easily. You know, it took 4 guys to get it in here, and guess what? If I move, all I got to do is stabilize it, because I bought a cargo trailer, and I had a mini split and everything else put in it. See the mini split up there?
You are currently being recorded.
Yeah, whatever, Alexa. So keeps it nice and insulated. Ooh, everybody got dizzy. But yeah, definitely check it out. Do your research. I tried to show you as much as I could, you know, on there, and I will definitely do some reviews once I get the Glowforge hooked up, where they're both cutting the same item, so you can kind of get an idea what's going on and go from there. But if you do decide to get one, you have to have a dedicated circuit, which means it has to be on its own line. You can't just plug it into something that you have your TV plugged in with, and that's with both of them. So, you know, in the house we had one for the Glowforge, because originally I had that in my house, and then I moved everything out here, and then I had an electrician install all of that stuff for me. But leave a question, suggestion, or comment below if you have any thoughts, or you want something that I want to cut, you want me to cut, or you're thinking about it. You know, put it down there and I'll let you know if I can. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. I don't know, but we can try it. Put it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.